Lock tower.
Agriculture is one of those.
Lock tower.
We have worked,
Lock
we
tower.
inherited a difficult situation there, but we have
Lock
worked
tower.
tirelessly to stamp out corruption by and
Lock
large.
tower.
I see what the media are writing. The numbers don't show and agree with what is being written. I will show you just now. To stamp out corruption by and large in the fertilizer procurement area. If you remember during our opposition, we talked about the debt in this around procurement. And one area that is really costing the country too much money, general procurement.
Lock tower.
Procurement, even of small things like pets, overpriced. Procurement of big items like the downstream. But annual procurement of fertilizer still is not a big issue. There are issues, but it's not a big issue. And by addressing it, even at the risk of creating some delays in the procurement
Lock tower.
process, this year, 2022, your government was able to save somewhere in the region of $154 million just from this space of procurement around fertilizer. If you remember, the tender process started around June, but around August it was cancelled.
Lock
The
tower.
County Procurement Authority, I may be wrong on a particular month, but around there, the tender was cancelled because of certain anomalies which we all agreed needed to be addressed. And we have to restart all over again. Hence, some of the delays that we is very big.
Lock tower.
One item we want to extract. This year. But our agenda was to stabilize, to clean, to cut the costs, and move on in 2023. And you see a different fertilizer program in 2023. Time will tell, and we're not far from there. But this promise of prudence needed to start with the big lines. One of the big lines is the fertilizer, another one is fuel. The hemorrhaging and the bleeding. I did say generally public procurement was a big hemorrhaging area. I'm sure you have seen the noise about audit of domestic debt, procurement, supplying air. When I talked about it, most of you say, what is it talking about? It's real. Contracts that are structured to take money away from citizens, perpetually. Address those issues. We'll continue in 2023 as part of creating savings. And those savings, everyone got supplied. Where do you get the money for free education? It's from these areas. And we knew it. Only now we have proved the point. But it's a continuing process. It's not a start, stop, start, end. No, it's a continuous process. So you will see in 2023 an agricultural program where we are drifting towards our agricultural support program. fertilizer and seed only. Farming is a lot of things. I'm a farmer myself. I know what the farmers feel. But we're there for you. We're one of you in State House. So the cleanup will include in 2023 any process of procuring fertilizer and seed. You will see in a few months from now. You will see a focus towards domestic procurement of fertilizer. What do I mean? More locally produced fertilizer coming online. Triggered deliberately by our own demand pool, pushing foreign producers to come on board. Is it true? Very true. What's the example? United Capital Fertilizer. We were only to produce vessel dressing in 2022, and I'm aware, because I was sitting with Affiliates Bank in Washington on my side activities. We have agreed to support United Capital Fertilizer to now finance them to produce urea for US, part of our agenda for local value addition. We want to buy as much fertilizer from here. We don't want to rely on the rigidities and supplies of others, suppliers, where we can. And you also be pleased as your chief sales officer that President of Botswana said, "Agent, immediately you are ready to supply." I see the ambassador, the High Commissioner. Immediately you are ready to supply more than your domestic requirements, we are lining up to buy from you next door. That's our agenda. You will see that. You will see the logistical side being one that will involve more Zambian truckers than ever before. Deliberate. Very deliberate. Let's work together, citizens. Well, I said to you, it's another over 75% vaccination percentage, going towards 80. Traditional leaders on vaccine resistance. We have to work with church leaders. We have to take the vaccines to the people instead of the people holding the vaccines. Now, as Zambians, 20 months ago, did you ever think that countries would be asking you to share their experiences? What were you going to share? 50%. I addressed the soldiers in Central Africa. Like, some forgot they were wearing uniform. That's our commitment. That's a promise we made before elections. We've delivered. That's what you elected us to do. Students, some scrapped meal allowances. We bring free education, exam fees. 2022 budget, we couldn't do it. We're reconstructing the economy. We said, Pembela first. Give us time. How you work with the judges
Trial. Trial.
Then you see how polarized the country was. We
Trial.
employed teachers from Kawamba, where we never used to get any votes. It does not matter. It's because these are Zambian children who had no jobs for 5, 10 years. That's my duty. That's what I was elected to do in office. You better get used to that. That's our agenda, to reunite this country, to be equitous, to be fair. I didn't mention it, Frank. The distribution of CDF is not selective. The day the Minister of Finance releases CDF, it goes to 156 constituencies. Same amount, same hour, same the technology in the transmission of monies. Maybe there'll be 5 minutes difference or 1 hour. That's not our problem. It's deliberate we're doing that, even the recruitment. So I want to appeal to you, members. We are elected on the ticket of fairness and equity. We must walk the commitments we made. We love you, but you are the ones who should stop what was going on wrong for years. It became normal to do wrong things in this country. It became normal to go partying, but you have kasagandalama. You don't work. It became normal. Now we are saying, no, hard work is the hallmark of this country. Work after work, no work. Then you'll be rewarded. You want to do tantamene? No. No, 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 no. Please support us in that journey as citizens. Soon you'll be happy. As you are happy to wear your regalia anywhere. You couldn't. 17 months ago, you couldn't. You'll be signing a death warrant. You couldn't. Mwewa couldn't walk around your building. You walk around your building that you are inside. Now I see you filming in the streets freely, joking with the people in the streets. You're a free man now. But let's not forget where we're coming from. It's easy to forget. Mining sector. Mining sector. We set out to open this sector. We set out 3 million tons of metal in 10 years' time. To do that, citizens, we now are identifying exact which asset should give us 200,000 tons to contribute to 3 million tons. Yes. That's why we are unlocked the investment in First Quantum, which was hanging for 10, 11 years. And today we can talk about $1.35 billion of investment. Today we can talk about bringing in the largest nickel mine on the African continent. Is here, is in Kalumbila. Today we are talking about Minister of Mines. He's not here. Lengthening the life of Kansanshi mine, which was supposed to close in 2024, 2025. We've given it another 23 years. That's what this project has done. And I read a lot, Frank, in the social media. No, HH has sold our shares. Our 20% is there. Our board members are there. What we have shifted is to a reward mechanism. A reward mechanism to get more money so we can use the shareholders, the people of Zambia. We're just custodians. To abuse you again. Since we did that transaction, your treasury through that system is reached $100 million cash. In 18 years, media, when they entice you to write stories, ask them a few questions before you write a story, because you'll be the one writing something wrong. Ask them, say, can we see the transaction documents? There is no sale there. It's a restructuring of remuneration so we can get an assured value every year. between $35 to $60 million assured every year from one asset. Never done before. I believe that's why you Zambians elected us into office, to make these changes. Now, we can invest in a new mine, and we can put $10 million of equity. We don't have to borrow. And the rest, we can gear up. That's where we are going. And have an increased shareholding. What we want to see, Frank, is wholly owned Zambian copper mine. Government will support you, Zambia. Go out there and create that company. Get the license. This government will support you. We want to see 100% owned Zambian copper mines, as our brother Sixtus Mlenda has done on the manganese mine in Wapula. I went there and I said to Sixtus, what we used to discuss 25 years ago is real. Well done, my friend. I went to his pitch. That's what we want to do, Zambians. Don't be left out. Don't be observers. Come forward. Take risks. This government will support you. But we will support you because you do genuine business, not moving with Kasagagandarama when you don't do any business. Wapeza kuti ndalama wewe. Watenga ndalama za bantu. Tikapoga tia izivali bwina wa bantu. Ndalama za bantu gaidi, za bantu. That's the issue. Now we have to focus 2023. Mopani, KCM. Frank, I'm very pleased, I'm a very proud servant of the people of Zambia, that last week we signed up with Cobalt of the US to invest in a new asset called Mingomba Resource, hived out of Lubambe Mine. It was dormant all these years. I believe we are sitting on a huge resource there. We didn't have the technology. Now we brought a partner with the technology, artificial intelligence, to be able to explore and know exactly what we need to do with that mine. $150 million. That's what we're doing. That's our agenda. And fellow citizens, 1 year in office, taking such maneuvers, we've been able, numbers don't lie, these are not my figures, Zambia Development Agents, I didn't generate them. We have been able in 1 year space to increase investment from $3.33 billion 2021 to $5.24 billion, a 57% increase in 1 year. In a difficult year of transition, we want to triple this figure. We want to move to double digit in billions. Working together with you citizens, we will do it. Media, we can send you these figures. Earlier I talked about the economy. 2006 to 2021. You see the graph yourself, how the economy dipped. You can take it from President Manawasa's time, the economy was growing. 2011, the economy starts dipping. After 2016 elections, the economy just plummets to Sakatwandaram. The liquidity you were happy about. The reality is this. Here it is. And that's how it dipped to minus 2.8. Journalists, you are free to access this. Immediately we started working, this cave is now bottoming up. It's here. See panika. Why? It's unlocking the investments I'm talking about. It is getting cobalt mine, the number resources. It is getting Kasenseri. I want to announce to you, fellow citizens, that Kasenseri got, after many meetings, we are meeting here in State House before I left for the States, we have agreed to resolve all the challenges around Kasenseri gold mine, and the mine should be up and running in the first quarter of 2023. I'm very delighted to have. I chaired the meeting right here. All the stakeholders were here. The chief and the people of Minilunga. Lovely people of Minilunga. Chief Chibweka. And the Zambian investors and ZCCM. We were all here And that's the approach we're taking in 2023, Frank, to take transaction by transaction and unlock it. It doesn't have to be the president always. It can be ministers on their own. It can be so we can do multiple activities at the same time. Colleagues, I simply want to say thank you to the people of Zambia, who, contrary to social media stuff, we've had by-elections, still formed government. But the last by-elections, last two, number 26, I'm humbled to say UPND won 24 out of those 26, where no one was restricted from campaigning. They were all there. No one got tear gas, no one got beaten, as we used to get beaten ourselves. But you can still win an election without beating anybody, without killing somebody, as in Lawrence Man. Of these 24 we won, 21 were held by PF. In Wapula, we had 6 elections. They were all PF. We won 6 out of 6. In Northern France, we had 5. They were all PF. We won 5 out of 5. Eastern, 3 of them. We won 3 out of 3. I'm talking about areas that used to be called PF strongholds. There is no stronghold anymore. Not. There's nothing like that. This country, Zambia, people are seeing the free education, they are seeing the CDF, they are seeing the examination fees, and that's the story of leadership. Colleagues, turning the country's economy is not an event. It's a process. It's not an event. It wasn't going to be a walk in the park. It was going to be tough. We knew it. But we planted the seed. 1 year, we have a 5-year mandate. And when I see the social media, it's like we have a mandate of 1 year. We have a 5-year mandate. What we committed to do will be done in 5 years. We've done 16 months. And we believe that working together, all the terms of government, including the fourth estate, giving voters, citizens the right information, we shall be okay. Media, I've sent a message to the Minister of Home Affairs. Media and journalists should be free to conduct their professional work. I've sent a message loud and clear. No journalist should be arrested in the line of duty because they're acting as journalists. No. It's up to you, the media, to deliver factual information. It's up to you. If you break other laws, that's a different issue. But no one should get arrested because you are conducting your professional work in the line of duty, so others would say. You shouldn't be in harm's way when you are in the line of duty. It's as simple as that. So, that's my 2023 commitment to you. Mwambera kuti kuli vuto kwinangu mchaire phone. Tizapindana na Minister of Home Affairs. But be truthful. Don't alarm the country. No, the country will be ungovernable. Why should it be ungovernable? Why? Whose interest? The interest of the people who sank the economy to this level. Are we represented by those who did this to the economy? No. So why should the country be ungovernable? Because someone is not in government. Who said that you will be in government that you will die? We are only here to do our part. After a while, another group will come. So why should we set the country on fire because we are not in government? Because to Sagatwandara Mataenda. That's the issue. We know. We understand. So be truthful, be factual. Okay, legal reform. We are committed to dropping the death penalty, Frank. We are committed to legal reforms. We are committed to removing from our statute what is called defamation of the president. I don't really mind what you say about me. So let me be the guinea pig. I know this is unpopular, but leaders do what is unpopular as long as it's correct. Because some opposition are finding happiness in abusing the president because there's a law called defamation of the president. So now we take away that law. Please yourself. Be happy. Provide opposition. Genuine. Make your case. We have put the programs we are doing. A lot more I've not talked about. We have a thick summary, journalists. We have a thick summary or a fact sheet like that, which we prepared over the 2022 or 16 months we're in office. Please look at that fact sheet, extract any information you want. If you have suggestions, let us know. If you have any views that the economy can be run better, the CDF can be improved this way, we welcome your views. All of your views without exception. We'll sift them through, sir. This one is politicking. This one makes sense. This one we need to ask more questions, and we'll ask questions. Our duty is to listen, to get criticism, be factual, is to improve this country. Epela, endita mkwai. Umakanazo. That's all. So we committed to your views, receiving them. We welcome them. But remember, we have a 5-year mandate. I think in the first 1 year, we've done pretty well. You can angle your own assessment. But for me, seated here, it's not enough. What we've done is not enough. I'm the first one to say we could do more. And we'll work to do more with yourselves. With our new, renewed relationships in the global community, African continent, neighbors, where we fall short, we'll look to others. That's how the world works. Networking, Frank, is part of the minimum requirement for any leadership. If you are isolated, you will be doing something, you think you are doing something good. You're actually offline. Learn from others. This country is willing to learn. From everybody. From everybody. But we will not learn things that are not culturally acceptable to us. We'll say, no, this one, no. Even these arguments I hear of this and that, no, you know, HH is a stooge. I'm a stooge of the people of Zambia. I'm very proud. I'm a stooge of the people of Zambia. And I'll continue being a bigger stooge of the people of Zambia. That's the level you can give me. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for that generous and candid engagement. Colleagues from the media, we are going to take a couple of questions. Can I just suggest that for purposes of expediency, we shall take 2 rounds of 3 questions, and I'll be surprised if Uncle Frank still does have a question to ask, because the President didn't able to address Uncle Frank quite directly.
He was just the agent.
Right. So we're going to take the first round of 3 questions. I'm going to take a question from Diamond. Let's be concise. Let's avoid amalgamated questions so that we can take as many questions as the President may possibly get. So I'm going to take a question from Mr. Mwansa from Diamond. Then I'm going to move on to take another question from Sandra, Sun FM. And I'm going to take another one from here. So, Mr. Mwansa, please. afternoon, sir, you have not given us the way out as far as the way forward regards Mopani and KCM. Thank you, Mr. Mwansa. Sandra?
We agreed one question per person, isn't it?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Afternoon.
My name is Sandra Mninga from Sun FM Radio and TV. Mr. President, you have addressed a number of issues, but there's one issue that you have not addressed, which is of public interest. Mr. President, your government has been quiet on the issue surrounding the Barotse Land Agreement. The Nyungandambo says it will engage the international community if the Zambian government does not meet to discuss the splitting issues surrounding the Barotse land. Mr. President, what's your position on that?
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
I'm Virginia Chilongo from Movie TV. Mr. President, while you were in opposition, you issued a number of media statements touching on various sectors in the country. This afternoon, you have addressed some of them. For example, the cost of living, to electricity, there's load shedding, as well as petroleum products, where earlier this year you gave the excuse of the Russia-Ukraine war. Another example, Mr. President, is the issue of medicines and medical supplies in public health centers, as well as agriculture sector regarding the delivery of farming inputs, fertilizer, and in both cases, we are told that government is trying to dismantle the delivery of commodities. My question to you, Mr. President, is that how can the people of Zambia trust that you are in control, and how do you intend to align your position now with the statements made while in opposition? I thank you.
Mr. President, I'll make call for your responses.
Thank you very much. Well, Costa, I totally understand where you're coming from. We agreed. There's no issue. We agreed on that. I think the issue is that I did say that the complexities of driving a change agenda are there. When you have a package of things you need to do, let's take mines, which is your question. KCM, Mopani, First Quantum, Lubambe mine, even those that you don't think there are issues, there are a lot of issues, Kasenseli God. I think today's press briefing, I covered First Quantum. I hope you're aware that it's the largest mine in this country. I hope you're aware that First Quantum is the largest single taxpayer in this country. Even before this project was unlocked, it still was the largest taxpayer. And with this project now having been unlocked as one of the checklist items, it's a movement, a big one. The nickel mine extending the life of Kasanshi for another 23 or so years. It's a big issue, not a small issue. Now, I talked of Lubambe. I didn't mention Lubambe, maybe I said Migomba resource. This is a hived out of Lubambe mine. And we believe that as a country, with the technology we're talking about, we've been able to strike a deal that we'll be able to get into that asset much quicker. It's a package. By the way, we intend to use that technology in other areas as well. And any other technology from any of our partners. Europe, could be Germany, could be anyone. It could be Nigeria, it could be Egypt, it could be South Africa with a mining history, it could be Australia, it could be China, any one of us. Common interest, we are here. Japan, we're here. I know Japan is not too much of a mining country, but it's a highly, technology country. So we're here. So Costa, this unlocking we've done, the process continues, and I refer to the fact that with the 3 million tons that we need to produce over a decade, please, can I correct this? Some people are saying 3 million tons in 3 years. No, 3 million tons in 10 years. Let's get that clear. Mopani, KCM are squarely staring in our faces. overly delayed, agreed. The complications of the liquidation that was appointed into KCM are very unnecessary. You remember, Costa, in the opposition, we criticized this decision. Now we are paying the price of this decision, the complications that came along with putting an asset into liquidation when it should have been put in management arrangement. Very clear. And I knew the difficulties. Now we know exactly where the problems lie. And even the complaints being given by people that why are you talking to Vedanta is an uninformed complaint. Why, Costa? You have given me the opportunity to illustrate on this one. It's because the shareholders are ZCCM, IH, and Vedanta. At the time the mine was put into liquidation by the previous government, there was no proper consultations at all. It was just dropping a friend there so they can squeeze cash. And you will see what will happen now with DPP there and the ACC. That's another story. Just wait and see. You squeeze cash and you put Mukasaga, you are walking around and say Kasagandaram. The damage was grave, big damage. Now, the point I want to make, Costa, it's an important asset. Copper belt people. We are in a copper. This is an important asset. I agree. So we are putting all our pedals down to deal with KCM, Costa. I mentioned it. I said, now we're done with these things. Not that we're not working on it, we'll continue on KCM because it's very important. Sits on an orbit. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Remember, I said 2023 we'll be unlocking a lot of rigidities. You see the president who is sitting in transaction meetings to unlock because people got used to doing nothing over the years, 10 years, just sitting on things and damaging the assets. That's why you see some of these transactions concluded because we're putting our pedals on them. 2023 is a clear checklist item number 1, KCM Mopana. But let me say it to the people of Zambia. You can't wish an existing shareholders away when you are in court. We're in court with Vedanta. Our approach, Costa, thank you for asking this question, is that we should not do business in court. Just remind you, First Quantum and ZCCM were in court and government in court for 11 years. When we came in, we said, gentlemen, ladies, we can't do business in court. Let's do business on the boardroom table. The parties agreed to suspend litigation. Billions of dollar worth litigations, crisscrossing. No movement. In a very ingenious way, we were able to take these issues out of court, resolve the problem, now going to close all the litigation. We're taking the same approach, Costa, on KCM. We have to bring Vedanta to the table. Contrary to what people are saying, you can't wish away somebody you are litigating with in court unless you want to be in court for 20 years and then pay legal fees. Sometimes lawyers are angry when I take this approach. But this is the approach I acquired for my sins of being in business for many years. This is one of the acts I brought and learnt the hard way. I hardly went to court in my business days. I thought there's a solution on the table. I take the same approach in government. And so we told Vedanta that court is not the answer. Come to the table. So I need to clear this with the people of Zambia, that you cannot wish away legalities and legal cases. You have to negotiate your way. So count on us, Costa. We know the injury. We know the slowness in the corruption. We know. Mopani is pretty easier. Again, Costa, I dare say it. We hope to unlock Mopani with a dedicated effort from now. We've been working on it. I think we're almost there. That's my answer, my friend. But any ideas you have, any idea from anyone in this country or from another territory, experiences of the past, anywhere, we welcome those. Because we are not master of everything. We are students. We continue learning and willing to learn as long as those lessons will help us resolve our problems and unlock these assets. They must contribute towards the 3 million tons. That's my answer, sir. Sandra, Sun FM, the Ross issue. We are silent. What are we doing? We are not silent. Again, you were used in the last 10 years. When the Barroso activists talked, the next was arrests and guns. We have a different style. Contrary to your view, we're not silent. We're working. As you thought we were silent on a number of things, we're not silent. It's a different way of working. It's a civilized way of working. We don't want tear gas. We don't want guns in those Barroso planes. I'm sure you remember, some of those activists were gunned down. They're dead. Some of them were put in prison. I was in Mukobeko prison with one of the Barroso activists. I'm sure you know the story of what happened around the family. We have a different approach. Violence, friction, noise is the last area we go to. It's a management style, it's a leadership style that is different. And I ask Zambians to get used to that. That's what I said at the beginning, to calm the country down, to silence the guns, the tear gas. And by the way, I must use your question to say, all members of political parties, UPND, anyone, church affiliation, anyone, any citizen is free to trade in the market. Is free to get a store in the market, to trade without anyone harassing you. What we don't agree is to use the name of a party to go into a market and harass people. Please, let's distinguish that. I see that on the social platforms. I go on to them myself. I debate with people. They continue arguing. It's not right. You know the truth is that you are free to trade in the market. You are free to own a taxi. You are free to own a minibus. Follow the regulations. Follow the market requirements. Trade. Don't extort money from a widow. Frank, a widow will take 10 boxes of tomato at Soweto Market 17 months ago. 17 months ago. Costa, I was just analyzing that we're only in office 15 months. We're getting to the 16th month in a few days' time. Straight. Calculation. Easy. 17 months ago, a widow will take 10 boxes of tomato at Soweto. The PF cadres will grab 2-3 boxes as payment for trading in the market. Who said so? That is what we don't want our members to do. Neither do we want PF members disguised as UPND members to do. My message to the police and to the Minister of Home Affairs when I returned 2 days ago was clear. Any lawbreaker, arrest them. There's no party symbol with regard to the law and order. We cherish peace in this country. Freedoms to trade, no extortion. Markets controlled by councils, they must continue being controlled by councils. Councils don't extort money. Provide water. Provide toilets. The money is there. CDF. What does it take to sink a bore around the market? If there's no power, put a solar. Don't sink the bore at 150,000 kwacha. Somebody will lose his job sooner or later. I hope soon. Yes. You can't take money like that in our eyes. In our eyes, under our leadership. Very courageous. Some people are very courageous, eh? But we shall see how far that courage goes. Put solar. Reticulate it under 50,000. Put market, toilets, flashing toilets. Put a soccer wear. Why should the market have? That's what our concern is. But let me return to the point. Madam, the question you asked. We drift away from tear gas, from violence, from arrests, from beatings. Under the previous government, those villagers who beat up policemen in Katete, they would have been shot dead straight. But the police exercised restraint. But all those who beat the police have been arrested, unless those who ran into Mozambique. But we'll find them. Law and order. I've made a point here. I've said to the Minister of Home Affairs, it doesn't have to wait for me to repeat this point. Law and order must prevail in this country. Otherwise you have no investment. Not even from Zambians. If you can get your tomato grabbed like that, in the name of a party, no. So, Madam, we are very active on the Barroso issues. We are very active. We are completely in the know of what is going on. But our style is different. And we expect our friends from that side also not to start agitating violence. Because this government is non-violent. So why should anyone agitate violence? Then that will be breaking the law. Let's talk. Everything we must talk about. Everything. If you choose to become violent, then the law moves in. Simple. Virginia, Anthony, she escaped your watch. She asked a number of questions. She was a bit clever. Cost of living. I addressed this issue. Where? I say that if the economy is going down, you cannot arrest the cost of living. If inflation is going up, you cannot arrest the cost of living. Now that these macro variables are under control, and then we push more investments, cost KCMs, unlock them, Mopana, First Quantum, Mimomba resource. That is what will help to generate more goods and services, to sell more within the market, our country, and the region. As the issue of fertilizer I talked about. All these things are connected. Then we can manage currency market, foreign exchange market. We can manage inflation, continue managing inflation. What we've done is just the best. We now need to expand on the production side. I've given my friend there the graphs. It's there. You can see it for yourself. And we are already bottoming up. It is these measures that finally will help arrest the cost of living. In addition to the meeting on Thursday, to bring in the image on the ZESCO issues, I talked about it. To mix, let me say something very, very cardinal here. ZESCO was buying power from generators, independent producers, Frank, including Mamba Collieries, and they were not paying. All these years they were not paying. ZESCO owed Mamba coal producer over $500 million. When you were seeing cash, fake cash in the economy, you're not paying your bills. You can't continue doing that. This government will not continue doing that. And ZESCO was buying power sometimes 13 cents per kilowatt hour and selling it at 8 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, look, you can't do that under the UPND watch, under the eagle's eyes. You can't do that. And one of the first things we did was to say to ZESCO, renegotiate tariffs. And they've done that. Without your eyes seeing it, we're doing that with other independent producers. Why were they charging 13 cents per kilowatt hour? There was no understanding of business. If there was deliberate desire to get something along the way. We are cleaning up all of those issues. So ZESCO renegotiates the tariffs, also ZESCO starts paying its bills. And then over time, we will normalize ZESCO as a business. Then what else are we going to do? We're working on, I already said it earlier, that we want to make sure that it doesn't take 18 months to put a solar power. No one has asked me this question. But I will answer it on behalf of the silent questioners. 6 months is enough to put up 50 megawatts of solar. But the rigidities around the encouragement to continue going around in the hope that you get something, we are cleaning up in 2023. And then we'll be able to, with technological changes in solar and the stability, quality of storage, we should be able, Frank, to get more solar power stations from private sector. And part of what we're doing on Thursday is to open up this to Zambians. Costa, you can choose to invest some of the diamond returns on a 50 megawatts, and ZESCO should be able to give you a power purchase agreement because they need it, as long as the price is good. That's the issue. And we think technology allows us to deliver solar at 5 cents per kilowatt hour, not 13 cents. 5 cents per kilowatt hour. In ZESCO sells it at 7 cents, and this is the difference. But the price is lower, then your tariffs will begin to stabilize. That's how it works. Then the cost of living will start coming down. You can't have the cost of living coming down when you basically bang out the economy. That was artificial. But we are moving in the right direction. I can say more. This is enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have to indicate, Mr. President, that last night there was, and there still is, a flurry of engagement on the President's social media platform. And one of the issues that has come up, Mr. President, is the issue of students' loans recoveries. I think it'll be generous of the President to consider engaging that issue, and also a question around where are we really with the process of debt restructuring. And with those two questions, Mr. President, I will take an additional question from Uncle Frank before we take the second round of 3 questions from colleagues in the media.
Your Excellency, first greetings.
Thank you, Frank.
Your Excellency, can you clarify the enhanced relations with the USA and expected short, medium, and long-term benefits? And in saying so, are you trying to achieve equitable Zambia's relations with China and USA? And by the way, one former minister is asking you to apologize to China because of these enhanced relations and with the USA. On a side note, the death of 25 Ethiopians still in unexplained circumstances could threaten security of foreigners and indeed Zambians. Could you comment on these issues, Your Excellency? And in saying so, have you engaged the Ethiopian government? Happy Christmas again, and I pray that your government will be more visible in 2023. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And perhaps before the President steps in to respond to those questions, colleagues, can I just indicate that if we are to accommodate as many questions as possible and as from many of you as possible, let us stick to one question apiece. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you. Frank is Frank. He is a special citizen. He has earned it over years. Thank you, Frank, very much. We'll come to you. Student loans recovery. Before I walked in here, I was scanning the social media. I saw that comment. Thank you that you've raised it. We are looking into it. We are looking into that issue so that ultimately students can be able, ex-students, former students, can get some relief of some kind. I will not say much, just the way we did on meal allowances. Last year we said, no, we'll look at it. So we're looking at it. I think that's a fair comment. Debt restructuring, definitely I think you are all aware that we managed to get IMF traction in place, and the IMF team came here after the closure of the transaction and the release of the first tranche. I think we are good on that one. We are meeting our parameters. Hear my words. We are not meeting the IMF parameters. We are meeting our parameters. We are the ones who set these parameters of that, what we want to do for the country. The IMF is our organization. We are shareholders. we asked our organization that we would like to work with yourselves on the IMF program developed by us. Some of you have forgotten the first minister that we appointed was the Minister of Finance. For almost a month, he was alone. The law says the cabinet meeting is the president, one minister, and the Kangwa. Where is Kangwa? Secretary of the cabinet. That's a cabinet meeting. That's the law. So for me, the priority was the Minister of Finance to deal with issues around debt. Remember, we had defaulted already. I'm not the one who defaulted. It's not the UPND government. It's the government before us. The one, Frank, that is said to have had stronger relationship with other people, but they didn't pay even the Chinese debt. They failed. What sort of friendship is that? You don't pay your debt to your friends. But we are saying to the Chinese, they are our all-weather friends. I'm clapping a bit here. All-weather friends. Chairman Mao and our Super Ken, KK, we walk the path of Chairman Mao and President Kaunda. And I dare say it, President Nyerere, Tazara, all of those issues. There is no competition. I'm clubbing things here. There's no competition between the US and China in our friendship with both of them. There is none. Please get it. There's no competition between Japan and France in our relationship with them. There's no competition between Nigeria and South Africa in our relationship with them. We are friends of all common interests, mutual benefits, a stable world. I thought I did justice at the beginning when I started articulating Zambia going back in the League of Nations, what we want to do, economic diplomacy, also neighborliness, friendship, working to even today as we sit, we have a border issue with Congo. But you have not heard. In the last government, there were guns there in Lake Mweru. People died over the same border. But one of my key initial steps when we took office was to go to Congo to President Tshisekedi that we are brothers, we are sisters, we don't kill each other. The people in Mpweto there are one family across. The people in Chief Puta, they are one family. Some are in Congo, some are in Zambia. Who shoots who now? That's the diplomacy, Frank. You are ambassador, sir. Ambassador, Mutubira. That's the that's the shift we have made. That we don't have to exchange bullets. We have a border issue with Malawi. We don't have to exchange bullets. The issues Malawi has with Congo are their issues. How can now in Zambia say, no. If those two are friends, one of them is my enemy, then the other one is my enemy. I call a man. Civilized. So this issue being pushed, China versus US, is a non-issue. What we have done with each one of these countries to reset our relationship. Remember, Zambia was out of the equation, Frank. Completely out of the equation. Whether we like it or not, that's a fact. Me, I feel it. We sit with other presidents. Oh, HS, things can change. Things have changed. They're fellow presidents. And I know where they're going. I said, no. We're all different. Let's focus on our issues. I dodge to discuss the previous government. But the truth is that we're taking ourselves out of the global community. No question about it. So we have a reset with Zambia-US relations. We have a reset with Zambia-China relations. I don't want to go into details here, but each of these countries know what we are discussing. Paramount, number one, is global peace and stability. These are the two big economies. They have a duty to keep the world safe for us small countries. That's my message. Follow what I said at the UN, not UN, at the US Africa Summit, Leader Summit. I said it openly there, that the debate on Africa's permanent membership on the Security Council is as old as 40 years. This is the time to resolve it. And because I'm new in this law, I use that excuse that I'm ignorant and play that. You can forgive me. Me, I've not been there in your negotiation, but I think it's time for Africa to be represented at the global governing step. Who are the big people, the big countries there? It's US, it's China, it's Europe, it's Japan. That's our message. On behalf of the people of Zambia, and we believe Africa in a small way. I'm not the president, the chairman of African Union. I'm just a small piece saying what I think many Africans would like to say. 1.4 billion people is what Africa is. How can we not sit at a table where things are being discussed about Africa? How? How would you devise a solution about Africa if you don't hear Africa? I have said, official, that Africa must be represented at the G20. And the G20 should become G21. Where am I fighting China there? Where am I fighting US? Where am I fighting Russia? Where am I fighting Japan? Where are we fighting? We're not fighting anybody. We are resetting our relationships. But first anchored on peace and stability. The big nations have a role to secure the world. I think that's a noble duty. But it's also true that we're a democratic country. We share democratic values. But it's also true that we have a special relationship with China. I've already said it. So former ministers saying those things is because there are some who are applying air to government and they want to be paid to parrot around things that are actually incorrect and create insecurity in a country that is stabilizing. How come you destabilize the country? How come you plummeted the growth? Truthfully, sometimes we must be honest and have a bit of a sense of shame, just to keep quiet and allow the UPND to clean your mess. You messed this country up. Just keep quiet for a while. Have a bit of a sense of shame, if that's all you need. So, we should not be digressed by people who have other issues. No, let's stay the course. We are friends of Seychelles, a small island nation. Seychelles is threatened by global warming. We must support Seychelles so that that island does not disappear. We must conduct ourselves properly and reduce the emissions temperature 1.3, 1.5 degrees centigrade. We have a responsibility. That's why we must generate more hydro energy, more solar, and not fire more coal power stations to reduce the emissions. We must look after our forests. That's our duty. To small nations, to weak nations like us, to countries that want to learn from the progress Vietnam is making today. Frank, I must say it. We're learning from there. Learn the lessons of Singapore in the early days. Learn the lessons of how China has brought its people out of poverty so quickly. That's why we respect the Chinese leadership. We respect Deng Xiaoping for the work that they did to turn that country, to sow the seeds. Earlier I was talking about sowing the seeds here. That's what we're doing. We're friends to peaceful nations, those that will cooperate, those that will open their markets to us, those that will bring us technology, those that will bring us capital at a lower price. Africa, Frank, is paying a higher cost of capital per dollar. Why should we be discriminated as a continent? Why do we pay more for a dollar than Europe, than America, than China? No, that's not right. Africa should feed itself. Sometimes we also like blaming other people as a continent. We have a duty to clean ourselves, to be less corrupt, not to Sagatonda Lama. Let us use public money properly, effectively. I have extended my answer to deal with, Frank, your issues. Because, I have a lot of respect for you. I'm sure you are raising those issues because you hear what people are saying. Visibility. Hey, styles are different, but I hear you. We will improve, we should improve on our communication. Give us advice, Frank. You know what we should do. We know what you should do. Just hold on a little bit. I think there was an issue of the loan. I've answered the debt. The debt. No, before I go there. Death of 27 people. I am very embarrassed, Frank. As a citizen first, not as a president. That on our soil, 27 people be dumped. Human beings. How did they get here? From the Horn of Africa. How did they reach this place? Who carried them? Human trafficking. In such inhuman condition. That's where we need China, America, Japan, everybody, France to work with us on technology. Let us see what is in that truck from origin as it crosses borders. How can people be dumped in a fuel tanker? That tanker is meant for fuel, not for human beings. So we must all work together to secure our world. I'm sure now you see the need for cooperation. Those with the technology, let's make it available. Let's check the trucks. In Muchinji and Mwami border, I said, we should have bought it was one-stop border post. I said we should have non-stop border post. But human trafficking, we must watch it. I didn't even know that this thing will happen. And that technology is our answer. Technology is our answer. And the world has it. The richer nations have the technology. Let's share the technology at a fair price. To secure not just Zambia, to secure Africa and the world. We are in on that one. To work to secure a safer world, secure world, we can focus on the economy and social development. Now, the issue around security, I think I've touched on. We're in it. We must exchange notes to secure our countries and the world. Debt. I was talking of the IMF program. Now, the principles of debt restructuring have been agreed. What we need to do now, Frank, is the content. Part of our meetings last week was around this issue. I know you're not the one who asked the question. It is to ensure that Zambia, the debt overhang we have, which is basically disturbing our macro management issues, releasing resources to the development side of the equation. We must deal with this issue. So there are 4 things that we are focusing on now, where we are. 1, overall, to have a reduction in the debt. Because it's not sustainable, it's not for the country's economy cannot afford. That's why there was default before we came into government. Secondly, we really need to freeze interest. Because even if it's not being serviced as debt, but interest is accumulating. And it is already going beyond the numbers. Not that we created it, but we have a duty to clean up. Because government is a living thing. Those who did what they did on, they messed us up. Now it's us to clean the mess. That's why they must sometimes keep quiet. Right? Number 3 is to conclude the debt restructuring negotiations like yesterday. Number 4, Frank, our desire as a country, and we appeal to our creditors, global community, some are seated here. We thank you for your support to give us a relief for a while, but that's not the solution. Let's close the MOU, the content, hopefully by end of March. That's the Zambia target. So we're persuading our colleagues to come to a table. They've already done so far, so much. We ask them to walk an extra mile. You'll be pleased, Frank, that we're engaging country by country category by category, including the Eurobond holders. One thing, Frank, there was recklessness in the leadership. We now know that. Before we took office, we were just saying it's like that. We know. They went to borrow recklessly, borrowed at a high cost when they could access money at 1%, at a certain level. Just to tell you, as citizens, the moves we took to access financing at a lower cost. The money from the World Bank we're getting is 0.75%, as opposed to 8, 9, 10, 12%. You don't have to be clever to know that already that's a different way of doing things. The IMF, zero interested. Have you ever heard the IMF gives money zero interested? We've managed to do it. First, goodwill, credibility, coming straight and clear, and being honest is part of what we've been able to do. I don't want to announce something. This is the wrong platform. We have some good news that's coming. We'll announce it after I've consulted the Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Energy. We'll be covering that on Thursday. Some good news. But we have to utilize that opportunity and not waste it, and not access money for consumption. Not access money to buy a plane that costs 60 million, 65, you will spend $191 million. That's not how you use people's money. Come on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, with your permission, I'm going to have to take the last set of 3 questions.
I thought we were finished.
These colleagues from the media fraternity are going to eat me alive. But colleagues, we're going to have to be concise, and it's just going to be 3 questions. We can't take all of them. Can I just indicate that we're happy and we will receive all other questions that we will not be able to take. We'll be able to receive them via your traditional press queries, and we shall respond to them. The President will make time to respond to your questions. Do we have a Cynthia Nkata here? Cynthia Nkata? Cynthia? We're going to take a question from you. Please step forward. Is Cynthia here?
She's there.
All right. Thank you. Can we take also a question from Atoko from Camnet? And we shall take one last question from our colleague from Bloomberg. Taonga. Where's Taonga? Taonga is not here. Well, in that case, I'm gonna make way for a question from our colleague from Oliver. We'll talk after that. The lady here. Mr. President, I was going to take a question ordinarily from Mr. Dingindama John Abuyoya, the young man who won the Komla Dumo Award. I think arguably it's the Ballon d'Or of the media fraternity, this young man here. But we'll take a press query from him because Mr. Mansa decided to take his slot.
Congratulations, sir. We followed. We're proud of you. Anthony, for that, you can include him on the list of questioners.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
My name is Cynthia Nkata, a journalist from Sky FM. I wanted to find out when should we expect the Access to Information Bill to be enacted? Since this year it hasn't been tackled in Parliament. Should we expect anything next year? Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm Patrick Soko from Cabinet TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'll just ask a categorical question regarding our constitutional reforms. I know that the government is on course towards actualizing that, but we are not precise on the aspect of the enactment of the Bill of Rights, which require us to have a referendum And critics, Your Excellency, have argued that for us to have the death penalty removed from the statutes, we may also need a referendum. And generally on the entire constitution, I would also want to get your perspective. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is Kombe from the Mass newspaper. Mr. President, I just wanted to find out your views concerning some calls that perhaps you suspend the export of electricity so that we don't have a 6 hours load shedding period. But the minister has insisted that perhaps this may not be done. I just wanted to find out why you have prioritized the exports of electricity at the expense of the Zambians that need it so much. Because I also consider that this may reverse the economic gains that you have made over the period of time that you've been in office.
Jonah.
Yes, my name is Dinginda Jonah Buyoya from Diamond TV. My question is very closely related to the previous question. Mr. President, you've acknowledged the economic hardships and the high cost of living that Zambians have experienced over this year. And all of this has been in the presence of a steady supply of electricity. Now, if businesses and citizens have got to survive days of up to 6 hours less supply of electricity, this will most certainly impact the economy negatively. What is government deliberately going to put in place to cushion the shock that will come with this?
Yeah. Anton, I can proceed?
Yes, Mr. President.
Thank you.
And that'll be the last lot of questions for the President for the day.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a festival period, mind you. But we have to work, after work and more work. Cynthia, Sky FM, access to information bill. I really think this issue is in the hands of the media fraternity. The consultation processes is in your hands. In fact, I'm the one who has been pushing that. Let's get on with it. So I think Justice is here. The minister was here. He's gone. Oh, he's not here. Oh, it was in the morning when he was here. I think we'll pick it up from there. But my understanding, Cynthia, is that there shouldn't be a real issue other than yourselves, dealing with these matters, with the procedures, government. We'll take note of that, and maybe it's one of our items for January 2023 going forward. Unless there's a briefing. I'm getting a briefing. Is that the one? We'll write a note for the president. It must be short. It's like a love letter now. Okay. I think let's leave it at that. Cynthia, we'll pick it up as an action point. If you can forgive us for that. But let's work together and pick it up. I think it's also tied to this issue. Not tied. It's another matter that's relevant to the journalists and media houses here. This issue of self-regulation, please get on with it. The issue of correct reporting, factual reporting is getting worse a bit. You run a story that you are given by somebody who has an issue or an agenda and they've not verified it and you're running it. It's not correct. So let's work on these issues, professionalism and stuff like that. But we will provide you support. Whatever support you need and we're able to provide it, you can come to us. Patrick Soko, Cabinet, Constitutional Reforms, Bill of Rights, Death Penalty. Well, the Minister of Justice will be issuing some guidance on this. We're committed to constitutional reforms. We know the complications of the Bill of Rights, not because it's not important, Frank, but simply the 2/3 majority issue. Added to that on the Bill of Rights, it is the referendum. The referendum requires an election type of work. And I think we must manage ourselves together as a nation, achieve consensus on how we do that. But I think the non-Bill of Rights issues that do not require a referendum, I think there's a way out. We could go two-phased approach. I'm saying we could. Don't write that HH dictated. No, I'm selecting the English words. We could. I'm selecting the word. We could go a two-way process. One is to deal with issues that do not require a referendum, not contentious issues. You know my views about by-elections. I'm not hidden that. It's a waste of money. We can legislate against by-elections, wasting money. Every penny we have, we must put it to a child to go to school. Desks, medicines, hospitals, scanning machines, all of those issues. You also know there are a couple of lacunas in the Constitution. After change of government, you cannot appoint a Solicitor General and Attorney General until Parliament convenes and sits. And then the approval process, that takes about 2-3 months, sometimes 4 months without a chief legal advisor to government. Government doesn't start and stop. It's supposed to be a continuous process. How do we deal with that? We achieve consensus with the opposition, independent MPs. We can make changes. We can make changes before March. But we have to bring others to the same level of desire as the country desires. We desire it, and I throw a challenge to the opposition colleagues and the independents in the House. I've already asked the Minister of Justice to reach out to those colleagues so that they can agree the issues that require us to work urgently and not held back by the Bill of Rights because of the referendum. Simple, straight. The nation comes first. I know that before the by-elections happened, somebody was saying, some people were saying, no, HH and UPN, they're scared of losing by-elections. Test of winning by-elections. Everywhere. So you think that was the fear? No. The issue was the cost and misuse of resources. We must be prudent. I think that's the issue. The death penalty. I've just got a legal advice here. The death penalty, colleagues, is provided for in the penal code. We can work on it. That's legal advice, isn't it? Oh yeah. Oh, Chris, you are there. Thank you. So, if there's any issue around there, the legal experts will deal with it. But the death penalty is gone. You know that the presidents before me were shy to execute people. But they didn't want to conclude the exercise. I'm just a courageous one, based on my belief and our belief. If you are scared of executing people, so why keep that law? So take it out. So there's no overhang. You want to keep people in jail, give them life sentence. That's it. So we are going to do it. We are ahead of even advanced countries here. I can assure you, we are ahead of advanced countries. And I think you as Zambians should be proud of that. Really be proud of that. Kombe, suspend the export of electricity so you can focus on domestic demand, domestic needs. We are together, Kombe. 100% together. Together. The hydrology of this country is affected like the rest of the world. We are slightly better here. We are better than a lot of our neighboring countries. But we are only in that situation because we were able to make certain decisions shortly after forming government. Restructuring the tariff in the power purchase agreements, realigning the revenues so that we could work on the stored Kafue gauge law 5 turbines there. When we formed government, there's only 1 turbine that was done, 1 engine, to simplify the language. In the last 15 months, we've been able to be ingenious and get 3 other turbines in place, Frank. Turbine 2, 3, 4. We are now working very hard to get turbine 5 done. Generator 5, if I may use that. Ingenious, working with some of our partners, but there were issues. The project was suspended. We got it as an emergency. Those are the management decisions we had to make in a short period of time. That's why you haven't seen load shedding. And someone says, no, that was our project. What do you mean it was your project? You shut it down. You couldn't move it. So now we have this issue, again the hydrology issue. That's why we're having a meeting on Thursday, Kombe. I beg your pardon. I ask for a bit of patience to be definitive. Thursday is the day we chose that we will look at all these issues. But I also want you to know that we are a country that can generate 10,000 megawatts, 10 gigawatts. Hydro, 10 gigawatts. Why haven't we done it all these years? Leadership will accelerate that. But because of climate change, we want to combine the energy mix. I talked about solar area. Unlock the rigidities. Move quickly. Is there anybody from the financial sector here? I have been asking myself a question. Why is there $2 billion of money sitting in Zambian dollar accounts? Yes, privately owned. 2 billion franc. Here. So part of our meeting on Thursday is to say, can we invite the Zambians who hold this money to invest in solar, and we give them the power purchase agreements quickly, and in 6-8 months' time, we'll be in a different situation. I'm going into Thursday's meeting. I beg your pardon. I would like to end here. But also, Kombe, just to alert you that why do we want to have self-sufficiency and surplus? It's because we want to supply power into the Southern African power pool. We already have an interconnector. What else? We want to supply power to Congo. That's why, good news, we've got now the funding to upgrade the Congo-Zambia interconnector. Happy. We've got the funding to upgrade the Zambia-Tanzania interconnector, which will lead us to Zambia-East Africa interconnector. Happy. A lot of hard work, but it's there. Now, why do we want these interconnectors? It's to evacuate power. Power from where? From here. So when we have agreements with our clients in the region to buy power from us, you don't cancel them willy-nilly. Because when you now have the power to give them, they will have switched supplies to another country. You know, Bumba? Mlekutika. You don't do business like that. You don't switch Kombe off like that because of political pressures. No. You consider the business implications. We want to be the key supplier of power given our geographical location. To the north, to the east, to the south, to the west. So you don't break contracts. These are long-term contracts like that. You try and find a solution, keep your customers. Because when we get to 10 gigawatts, and we only need 3, 4, the economy grows, we need maximum 5 over years. Where would you take the 5 gigawatts, which is 5,000 megawatts? Where would you take it? You've just extricated yourself and cancelled contracts really needed. We are here to run this country with a business mind. That's what will change. Politics is no longer a game of just playing with issues. No. Politics is serious business, Kombe. Very serious business. So let's not put pressure on ourselves and give away our markets When we are ready to generate more Kombe, we don't have the markets. The markets have gone to somewhere else. So you must be interested as Zambians as much as I am, we, in ensuring that the markets we have already, we keep them and ask them to buy more from us. Even if we persuade them to say, we'll slow you down now to solve our own situation, but we'll keep the contract and we'll be rebounding in 6 months' time. I know where you're going, Kombe. You're a friend, I know. Please write the story correctly tomorrow. We love the people of Zambia. We're here for them. But we also know that our love for them must be deeper, must be complicated, must be based on knowledge and understanding of things. That tomorrow someone will write that, oh, Zambia, HH sacrifices citizens in favor of Zimbabweans. No. How am I? Take your land if you are. How? Dingy. Same question. Similar question. Load management. Yes. You're not shedded yet. Is there somebody who's been load shedded yet? It's because of the work we are doing behind the scenes. We sent an early warning because the whole region is in short supply of power. But others are 18 hours a day, bigger economies than us. But this small economy is working very hard to ameliorate that problem. Thursday, we are looking into all these issues. But if we reach that stage, we want it to be minimal. We're not yet there. The minister would like to be on the safe side. You can bet, Dingy, I'm pushing for alternatives to load shedding, load management. I'm pushing, I've been pushing. Ask that minister. He gets my message at 01 in the morning. ZESCO managing director. Phone him now, he tell you the president was breathing hot air from Washington. Once I come out of my meetings in Washington, work after work. We love the people of Zambia. The economy is our major interest. Dingy, I must say to you, and I say to the people of Zambia, there is no master solution to alleviate and poverty other than through the economic management. There is none. Forget it. Forget when someone shouting Kazaganda from where? You have to manage the economy properly. I've been hitting this thing since I started this press conference. Those Zambians got spoiled, eh? And they even saying, no, there was more money under PF. Why did you fail to pay your government? Why? Even to friends, you failed to pay your debt. You defaulted. You killed our credibility. We are now cleaning it up. So, there is no solution to poverty alleviation, to job creation, to business opportunities, other than through the economy. And the economy is a complicated thing. It's not a monolithic mindset. It's a complex processes, and one must know how to join them together and to use the skills that you have in the country and outside the country. Friends, international community, friends, Zambia, neighbors, SADC, AU. By the way, we have agreed as Africa that we have to tackle this food shortage in Africa ourselves with the support of our friends through technology and fairly priced money. That's a dedication we've made. And you'll be pleased that your president has been nominated to sit on that task force as at last week on food sufficiency. There's a lot of work coming through there. Leadership, hard work, seriousness, prudence, understanding that contracts have an international flair. All trading arrangements are governed by international laws. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, thank you very much. Just to indicate, when the question around the Access to Information Bill popped up, we did receive, Mr. President, some additional information from Mr. Costa Mwansa, who I believe is part of the process, working hard to actualizing that. And he's indicated that there is currently an ongoing validation process around the same, and that all stakeholders who are party to this process are fully engaged. Mr. President, thank you very much for your kind engagement. Colleagues from the media, thank you very much for your honest probing. And we hope that after this engagement, Mr. President, the Zambian people have yet again been reassured that you are truly for them and that always at their service. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of this press conference.